So that was Two Step from DJ Unk. It's an old joint. Hey Malik, were you bumping that back in the day when it came out?
I can't say that I was. I actually have never heard this before, but it's pretty dope, I have to say.
Okay, so we right now on the mic we have Malik Conard Sow. I got your name right, man.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, man. So just tell us what you're doing here today. Besides, chilling, have a good conversation about comics and other things.
Yeah, aside from just coming out and hanging out down here with you guys, I came here to come down and speak about my new movie coming out called Deep, which we just finished filming about a week ago, and that we're editing at the moment, and hopefully want to have in film festivals by this fall. So.
Okay, so your movie Deep.
Yeah.
So what is it about?
Deep is about, well, it's really inspired by kind of like fight movies from the 1970s and 80s, just stuff like Enter the Dragon, 36 Chamber of Shaolin, bunch of like Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, but at the same time it's almost kind of a horror film. And basically the film follows this one character named Troy Linsky, and you think he's just this kind of like cold-blooded killer, but we realize that there's more to him, and he's actually an English teacher for high school students. So it's kind of like a modern retelling of Jekyll and Hyde almost, or the duality of man. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's good bloody fun.
Okay, so the actors that are going to be involved, the main character, what is his name?
We're working with a really fantastic actor named Arnold Sidney Jr. He's a really just awesome guy with a really great range in terms of playing, characters. And we also are working with a first-time actress named Katrina Mitalinas, who's, able to play a total badass. She plays a very kind of Domino Harley kind of character.
Like an Angelina Jolie type?
Oh, yeah, totally. Even worse,
Okay, so the main character, this is a fighting film. He has experience in fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is his background in terms of fighting?
Well, it's not your conventional sort of like MMA, sort of like, or Taekwondo, karate, any of the conventional fight moves. It's a really gritty, almost street fighting, like almost kind of like self-taught, like fighting. It's really brutal. They're not just fighting matches, they're death matches. Two guys go in, one guy's going to come out. So, yeah, it's something you've never really seen before. Yeah.
Yeah, just to get some information on this movie or whatever, did you have to go into talk to a bunch of people so you could try to get into these street fights so you could do some research?
Oh yeah. We looked at all the different type of fight moves before going in. We watched a lot of UFC on television. We watched a lot of martial arts films. And we decided we didn't really want any of that. But we really spoke. It was really me sitting down with Arnold and just talking about, because he actually used to be an ex-cop. So we really just kind of, did some research on like criminal cultures and just sort of the way people fight and interact in those sorts of environments, as well as watching videos online. And
so before we were upstairs, you were talking about it's going to be a 30-minute clip. Then you actually corrected yourself. Because you were like I was like a 30-minute teaser. I was like, that's ridiculous. I was like, how long is this movie's going to be?
Yeah.
Then you corrected yourself and said 30 seconds. And the 30-second preview is actually available. Where can they find it?
You can find the 30-second preview right now on YouTube. It's called Deep Teaser Trailer, and you can also check it out on our Facebook, which I was hoping to talk about a little bit today. It's we got a whole Facebook with a bunch of info on the film where you can find the trailer, stills, posters that we just came out with. And fans can find that online, or whoever wants to find that can.
Okay, cool. So we're actually going to start playing some music that's actually involved with the film, right?
Slightly. I mean, I brought a few music tracks that I thought kind of lend themselves well to the feeling and vibe of the film, so people know what they're kind of getting.
Okay, so the first band that we're going to play is the Kidney Thieves.
Yeah, this is a band called the Kidney Thieves, a industrial band from the 90s. I think anybody who's seen The Bride of Chucky probably recognizes this from one of the scenes.
Yeah.
It's a cover of the song Crazy, and it kind of lends itself well to the female.
It's my time. We don't want to hear your voice, okay?
Hey, okay,
it's my time to interview, man.
Okay, we're recording.
I know that. That's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to upstage you. Shout out to Porchhouse, who had his little Dominican party outside.
Yeah,
they had all types of salsa dancing and whistling. Like, I don't know what the hell was going on. How do you feel about that?
It was a fun time down here, man. We were all I think one of the most awkward things, somebody came into the room and they were like, hey, somebody's really horny out there and they need water. This is an actual quote from somebody. So I don't.
I'm just saying,
very
you better.
weird.
Yo, man, I'm gonna let you know if that scene comes out in any of your movies, we're gonna want like 50%.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk later.
No, we're gonna talk now. Okay, man. So this movie that you're coming out with, what is the marketing approach that you have for it as of now?
Well, the thing that's interesting about this is that we're not really trying to make a nickel or dime off of this. We just want our payment really is going to be the exposure by just putting it out into film festivals and having it online and finding out ways to put our movie out there. Yeah, really, in the end, we're just looking for exposure. We're not looking for.
But if you guys got paid though, you wouldn't mind.
It would be nice to collect it.
Can you talk about the type of the budget that you have for the movie?
This was made on nothing. That's another thing I want to talk about. The reason I'm here is also just to promote independent filmmaking among young filmmakers, because you don't need a multi-million-dollar budget to make things nowadays, and you don't need studio backing, you can just kind of write your scripts, make your movies. I mean, with all the technology that's available to young people like Final Cut and just the really amazing cameras that are out there, still cameras that you can buy for, not that much. It's way, I'm not saying it's easy to make films now, but it's a lot, the tools that we're given to work with now are a lot better. So, yeah, it was a peanut butter and jelly budget, and in the end, I think it was like close to like $500 we made this movie, because we had all the locations afforded to us, all the equipment, and yeah, I mean, it's a micro budget movie.
So what directors did you come up really admiring?
As a kid, I mean, I always grew up loving movies. I didn't know I wanted to do it till I was 11. It's hardly the most original thing, but I saw Lord of the Rings in a small theater in Jersey, and I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then when I was like 11, I started making these little home movies, which are terrible now that I watch them. But I mean,
you got to send it over. You got to see the progress.
Little 11-year-old me trying to talk about these films like they're masterpieces. But I guess in terms of filmmakers, I mean Peter Jackson, obviously, because I saw that film, and then I love people like Roman Polanski and Lars von Trier. This Danish filmmaker named Nicholas Winding Refn, who I think's awesome. Yeah, the list goes on and on. I'm into slightly darker, edgier films, which is kind of what this film is.
So I got a question. In terms of movies, which ones do you prefer better, the American ones or the international ones?
That's hard just because everybody likes to pride themselves and say American films are the best ones being made right now, but I've seen movies from small country, this movie A Separation that came out last year was just phenomenal. So it's hard to say. I'm an avid movie lover. It doesn't matter where they're from. Movies are movies.
What's your favorite movie ever?
Oh man, that's I think my favorite movie ever is a movie called The Elephant Man by David Lynch. Just because I personally identify with that story a lot, so yeah.
How do you identify with that one?
Well, just feeling like you're not. I mean, I'm not a deformed maniac, but
yeah,
I mean,
I was like the Elephant Man. I was like, yeah, what's going on here? Did you have surgery?
I think anybody, I think anybody once in their life at least has felt kind of like an outcast, like that character was, and I think that's the heart and soul of that movie is just about the outcasts in all of us. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna get into another song.